It is a little bit after 7, and we're going to start the meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order and have an acceptance of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harris. O'Toole. Second by Mr. Harris. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Are there any walk-ins tonight? Anyone in the back?
Good crowd.
Nope, no walk-ins tonight. Couple quick things before we get to the report of the town administrator. The town administrator is ill, and she is not here tonight. Al Bangert is sitting in for her, and we hope she gets better soon. One other quick change to the agenda is initially we had an executive session on the agenda, and we are removing that, so there will be no executive session tonight, and we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting. With that, Al, do you have anything to report on?
Yes, thank you. I would like to update you on a few things.
Thank you.
Okay, great. First of all, I just want to remind everyone that these transfer station and beach stickers expired on March 31st, so that the new ones should now be displayed on the vehicles, and those can be purchased at the town clerk's office. The second thing on the transfer station, it was closed on Sunday early because of the power failure that occurred all along the driftway, and they kept it open for as long as they could until all of the dumpsters and compactors were then filled, and because those couldn't operate, they needed to shut down for public health reasons. I want to remind everybody the Ship Shape Day is this coming Saturday. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, or sunshine. And supplies can be picked up at Town Hall between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. And of course, families can do their cleanup at any convenient time. In the morning, that afternoon, Sunday, or even early in the next week. And the bags are left along the street, and the DPW picks them up. Cudworth Veteran Cemetery Cremation Gardens construction resumes shortly, and that project is intended to be finished by Memorial Day, and there'll be a dedication ceremony with the Veterans agent organizing that.
On that day?
Beg your pardon?
On that day, on Memorial Day?
On Memorial Day, yes.
Good.
Right, as part of Memorial Day events.
When did they start breaking ground on it?
Ground was broken back in the fall, but there was a delay in the delivery of the vaults that are buried in the ground. So we anticipated we could be done by Thanksgiving, but that deadline was missed because the vaults weren't delivered until sometime in the middle of the winter.
And this is on the other side of the road of the cemetery next to the Historical Society?
Yes, that's Cudworth Veteran Cemetery, and what we've done is we've designed 3 gardens in that area that are for burial of cremation remains. There'll be flagpole, benches, a nice granite wall, places for plaques, and the burial vaults are pre-buried, and it can accommodate 2 set of cremains. We're only building 1 garden at this time. I think it accommodates 30 burial spots. The idea is that instead of burying your remains in a full burial spot in the middle of the cemetery, this garden was designed for that purpose. Okay.
Al, just a question. Is it, so on the 30, it's also can be a spouse, right? So is it a double?
Yes. The vault that's in the ground is a granite vault,
right,
about this big,
yeah,
with a brass plate on the top, and then 2 plates on top of the brass plate. One where the veteran is buried is provided by the Veterans Association, right, with inscriptions on it. The other one can be for a partner, and then the family pays for that inscription.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. It was a good topic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good job.
The school construction, a quick update on that. The high school art wing and the high school nurses suite work is almost complete. I don't know if you know this, but they had to move out while this is something that was conflicting where it was in a place where it would conflict with the construction of the middle school. So the work is almost complete, and the final inspections will be done next week, and then they will be able to move in. And the high school administration, and the art department are all coordinating that move over the April vacation week. So they should be in their new final homes as of the time everybody returns from the school break.
And the administration?
No, this is the high school administration.
Okay.
Not the
school
superintendent and his crowd.
Okay. We just met with the superintendent a couple minutes ago, and he said it's booming, doing great, doing right on schedule. And Thursday night, there's a tour over there if you want to go.
Oh, really?
Going in through the art wing.
Good.
At the public building.
Mm-hmm.
meeting, what's it
Committee?
called? Committee.
Public Building Committee, yeah. The auditorium excavation is underway. The foundation is 90% completed. The middle school itself, excavation is underway for the foundation for those buildings, and the site work is beginning installation of the utility, underground utility installation. So the school project is moving along very nicely, and they're happy that they're well underway and on schedule. From the public safety complex, underground plumbing is progressing. The first pour of the slab has taken place. We've finally received the Mass DOT permits for a curb cut to enter the highway. It was a little more complicated because we're also asking for an emergency exit light there for, controlled by the dispatchers for dispatch of emergency equipment. The steel will be delivered shortly, probably next week. Other trades, electrical, plumbing, and sprinkler folks are all deploying and coming on site and setting up their tents and getting ready to go to work. And the team is doing coordination with the base for the radio tower that we put in place, an 80-foot monopole that will not be offensive. It'll just be a pole in the air. Okay? And the last thing I'd tell you about is the Hunter's Dam, or Mordecai Lincoln Dam project, is heating up again in that the NOAA has offered an opportunity for competitive grants to do projects exactly like this one, which is removal of dams and restoring of fish habitats. The team that has been working along over the last couple of years on various stages of this project are applying for this grant. We've discussed it with the town administrator. She's in full agreement with this. The town match will be with things we would be doing anyway. Our match would be, for instance, paving the road after this project is completed, replacing the water line that goes right through the middle of the pond and needs to be replaced anyway, and repairing the drainage culvert underneath the Mordecai Lincoln Road, which is collapsing and what really prevented us from doing the paving back when we started paving in that area 4 years ago. So we will know in the summer if we are in the top competitive position, and then we would know in September if we receive funds to proceed with this.
Okay.
And that's it.
Good, so library's going up very quickly as well. I know they have the steel up there, the framing on the back roof, and then, I don't know, do you know what else?
Well, I met last Tuesday night
Okay.
with the Buildings Committee. Tricia was there. Couple of small change orders. They were wrestling, potential change orders. But they had, I'm not going to quote numbers because there were so many out there, but $100,000, $200,000 left in contingency. Board was pretty uncomfortable with that small amount. They thought they could. Joe Sullivan is trying to go after these contractors to recover funds that otherwise they would have had to spend if there wasn't for these change orders. So he's constantly trying to, weekly meeting with them to get some monies back. Like you just said, steel's up, the frame is starting, and I didn't write the date down when it's going to open. There's a month or 2 month delay in opening the library, but it's going forward, and everyone seems to be cautiously optimistic that these change orders are going to stop. When they have to, they still are coming across a small amount of asbestos, and that's where the foundation is coated with it. So if they have to expose part of the foundation to penetrate for plumbing, electrical, or anything like that, then they have to abate that area. So that's really the topic of the change orders. So other than that, it was just, they, at every meeting, every other Tuesday night we meet, and we, talk about these three projects.
One thing that we keep getting complaints there, and I know, Chief, you've tried to put an end to this, is the construction workers getting there before the site is supposed to be open at like 7:30 or something? 7, and they're idling their trucks there, they're parking there, and the residents have been upset. So if either of you talk to Joe, if you can just tell him to manage that more. I know you've spoken to them specifically and told them to go to the parking lot.
I think we got it pretty much squared away down there.
It happened the other day.
The parking lot down at the T of the parking lot, and they're not to leave there till 7 o'clock, so there's no misunderstanding. At one time, they stayed there till 7, and then they proceed to the site. All the construction workers have been told not to show up there before 7 o'clock.
And it was very clear to him 2 meetings ago.
I know.
All right, and he put the word out electronically as well as physically. You know, he doesn't control every single subcontractor, but, you know, that's not unusual. A lot of sites at 7 o'clock, you know, so it's really not
But they're
unusual.
getting there at 5:15.
I'm not disagreeing. Yeah, I get a phone call before you did, and there's no need of that, you know. So, you know, that's tricky. That's, you know, surrounded by residents. But like the chief said, they can go to Widows Walk, they can go to Dunkin' Donuts, they can beat the traffic to get to where they have to go and just get close.
They will come up with a delivery schedule. Every contractor there knows what they're expecting that week. That contractor is responsible for making sure that the delivery has been told that they cannot show up there. So this was that company that showed up that caused a problem a week ago, 2 weeks ago, had been told, but it never got to the driver. So the driver wanted to beat traffic. He showed up a good hour early. Those complaints.
Great. Anybody else have questions on the buildings? All right, so let's move on to our first discussion vote, which is Scituate Harbor Cultural District Special Event. Howard, you gonna do this one?
Yes, I can do this briefly. Several weeks ago, you appointed a Scituate Harbor Cultural District Committee to look at how to take advantage of the fact that we were designated as the harbor was designated as a cultural district. And the committee has proposed that there be a special event to celebrate, to recognize, to basically get the word out that this is an important event for the Scituate Harbor. And on May the 6th, from 4:30 until 9:30, they're proposing to hold an event that meshes nicely with First Friday in the harbor, which is a merchants event, as well as an arts walk, which is another merchants event that's going on in the harbor. And consistent with your policy, new events are brought to you for your vote. If this were a repeat of an event that's happened several times before, then typically Tricia would poll all the department heads to see if there are any other conflicts, and then she would authorize the event to proceed. In this case, she has polled all of the department heads, and in your package is the information from the departments, the DPW about cleanup, the police about the need for a detail officer, those sorts of things. And she would, at this point, recommend that you proceed with authorizing this event.
Any questions on it?
Well, what is it exactly?
I think it's an
I
art
can
show.
find out
I
next
think
week.
they're showing art and just, you know, kind of announcing that we are
A cultural
a
district.
cultural district.
Yeah, an arts walk, I think they're going to have artists down there with a painting for the time period, or at least displaying, and then there's a possibility of maybe some food, I think they're also looking at. I'd spoken to somebody earlier, and they'd said they were trying to get some of the local businesses maybe to be out there to
I think it's the first Friday, isn't it?
I think it is.
It is, yeah, it is.
Perfect.
They
Okay.
plan on having
Yeah.
Sergio Raffa on the pier, so they've worked with the fishermen and the Lobster Association to get permission to use the pier that night. He's going to be doing their art.
So is it in 2 locations, the pier and the bandstand, or just at the pier?
I think it's
It's throughout the district.
Kind of throughout the harbor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's throughout the district, like.
Okay. Great.
One question I had, now, I don't think you can handle it, but I would ask Tricia, when she comes back, to at least consider it, take a look at it. The pier was finished a year ago, I think, officially, and we've yet to have really a rededication. I think it would be a nice opportunity for those who are involved in getting that done to have an acknowledgement and to thank them, but also rededicate the pier, because they did a good job with it.
It's a great idea. I'll pass it on to her.
To consider.
Good idea.
Great.
Any other questions on this? Have a motion?
Move to approve a special event permit for Scituate Harbor Cultural District inaugural celebration on May 6, 2016, from 4:30 PM to 9:30 PM.
Second?
Second by Mr. Kennedy. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, 5-0. Great. The second item on the agenda is a discussion for the South Shore Pier Recovery Pilot Program. Chief Stewart is here.
I'm actually waiting for John Kimmett and I think one other.
Okay, so let's skip that, and we'll come back to that in a bit. We'll go over to the DPW projects. Kevin, you wanna?
Good evening.
How are you?
Excellent.
Great.
The first item we have, we went out to bid for the Chain Pond Pump Station upgrades and Sand Hill Pump Station improvements, and we got some really great competitive bids. We're really happy with it, and we're looking to award the job.
So this was $718,000. All the bids were pretty close.
Within $2,000 on that spread is, yeah, extremely close, which is really
And
good.
this was what, April town meeting, so last year's town meeting.
Yes, in last year's town meeting, we awarded money, one, to do pretty much a replacement of Chain Pond Pump Station. That pump station was in bad shape and leaking significantly. That's where we had the shutdown of that pump station, and we actually had to shuttle waste from one pump station to the other with the sewer trucks. And the Sand Hill Pump Station needed some upgrades also that were going on at the same time.
Is that the one that you?
Yeah, that's when I went through. It needs it.
Kevin, was there an engineer's estimate? Is that how they came in so close?
The engineer's estimate was in that area, yes.
Just curious.
I don't think I have it in the sheet, but
That's all right.
it was
I mean-
pretty, it was a well-put-together package of plans that went out, and it's kind of nice, they were all that close, they were all that tight.
Kevin, with respect to the Chain Pond, are they actually doing any work on the actual structure itself? Structure
Itself will be the same,
So-
it'll be the same structure itself.
I'm just wondering. if
It's
there's
actually
any
the
way-
tube that goes down deep that's being replaced with all the pumps, and what we're going to do is bypass it, and then we're going to run it over and to use that same building as a control house. We could have replaced it, but it would have been pretty expensive.
I'm just curious if there's anything towards it to try to either make it more blend in or try to at least make it look better than
Yep.
what it is.
And we'll see, we have some funds here that are left over, maybe we could, maybe we could do some, I'll bring that up in the next
When you
phase.
see in the parking lot at Egypt Beach, right?
Correct, yeah. Yep.
That's all I'm saying, just something to...
And we're going to leave a sewer drop there for sometime in the future if we ever decide to put up a bathhouse or anything to that effect in that area. So we'd be able to tie into it.
Perfect.
And make that a lot easier and kind of accommodate that when the time comes.
Good idea.
Great.
Are you familiar with Aqualine? Have we used them before?
We used Aqualine on a drainage job back on Country Way about 4 or 5 years ago. They did decent work. They had a good, they got a good rating for just doing a pump station in Milton that they just completed, and some of the other areas that they did in pump station work was good. I'm meeting with the owner tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and I want to just make sure he has the right crew out here to do the work, because I don't want any problems with the pump station. So I want to just meet the foreman and the superintendent who are going to be doing the job before they get out here.
Great.
Motion?
Yes.
Move that the Board of Selectmen award the contract to provide construction services for improvements to the Chain Pond and Sand Hills pump stations to Aqualine Utility, Inc. of Weymouth, Mass. for an amount not to exceed $718,000.
Second?
Second by Mr. O'Toole. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. And spring cleanup?
Sure. I can give you a little update of where we are and what's going on. We are working with the contractor, trying to get things scheduled. If it ever stops snowing, we are going to start sidewalk repairs sometime in the near future on Glades Road. We're also going to be doing some sidewalk improvements on Hadley Road. The section was just dug up by the water contract. And then what we'll do is we'll pave those two roads edge to edge and get that all cleaned up. We should be doing some work on Summer Street, probably by the end of May, grinding that trench and doing that trench out. We will also be, Glades, Hadley, we're also working on First Parish, paving that entire area, paving that area and getting that brought down. We're working with the contractor on that. That's a little trickier.
When are you going to do Country Way? That is a mess.
It is.
And you guys,
Branch Street, First Parish, pick any one.
Yeah.
I was going to ask before he left, I'm not so concerned. I know what he's talking about, you have to grind and relay the trench. That's part of their job. But Kevin, let's do something. Let's, pick a road and do gutter to gutter, or, please tell us you do have a plan to do something this summer. It's just getting real
If
old.
we're doing those roads, we're going to grind and overlay the trenches.
Forget that. I realize that. That's because it was just dug up last year. So like up in Mara's neighborhood.
You know,
if it's-
Sean wasn't here last week, so maybe
Oh.
go over your list, your plan.
Oh, okay. I don't have it in front of me, but one of the things we were going to do is we're going to do edge to edge up from the top of First Parish all the way down to Ronnie Schoen's, and we'll do that complete roadway. We're going to do Hadley, the section that's dug up edge to edge, and we're also going to redo the sidewalk. We're going to
That's
do,
only from, like,
Turner?
no.
I think it's from First,
Egypt Beach Road all the way down to like First.
Okay. Okay, all right.
First Ave, we're going to work in that area.
Not the bottom portion.
Right, okay.
We're going to do Glades Road, basically from Gannett over to Bailey's Causeway, and redo that and redo the sidewalk. And we're also looking to do First Parish down by the tracks, and to see what extent we can do over there. That needs a lot of drainage work, so we're investigating that now. We want to do the drain work before we repair the roadway.
Right.
And that's the biggest cost with that, because the sidewalk needs to be done, the drainage needs to be done, there's a lot of work that needs to happen over there. And then the other trenches, the other areas, as you said, Country Way will be ground out, and we'll do the trench a couple feet over each section of the trench. At the same time, the Country Way Trail project will be ongoing there, so they'll be cutting that up and putting the sidewalk in.
We did that last year in front of Berkshire, and, I thought we already did that last year. You talking about closer to Ronnie Schoen's?
I'm talking, yeah, basically from Ronnie Schoen's, I think, to about Huey is where the new trench is, and then we did the repair trench all the way up from
John's office.
John's office all the way up to, say, right around Huey, and we'll be doing the same treatment on that, a section of Countryway.
Right.
So is there anything temporary we can do to level out the roads to some level? I mean, it's,
Well, the problem is now the full asphalt plants haven't opened up yet. So we're pushing to get the contractors out there as soon as we can to get the roads fixed up.
but we're really talking end of summer.
I'm hoping a lot sooner. I'm hoping, I would say Summer Street is hopefully done by May. I'd like to see Country Way done sooner. I can't guarantee a time on that. We're having some issues with the contractor, but we're getting that worked out. But I'd like to see it a lot sooner than that.
Is Summer Street really in poor shape?
We replaced the water line there. We're going to do the trench for where we did the water line. The trench isn't
You're not
bad.
doing the curb.
Same, just, no, we're not doing curb to curb. We're just doing the trench area in that section.
And this is all part of their contracts and the individual,
It's in the individual contracts. And probably the next selectmen's meeting, I'll be coming before you to look to award the next water contract also, which will include paving on some of those roads edge to edge, and get that all set up.
In the specs, it'll be spec different though, won't it? Without getting too technical, you have to it has to all be changed. They can't just refill the they have to bring in different material, otherwise the road, as you know, is not gonna last. But I agree with you, it's just getting, you can't avoid it,
Right.
Take a ride with me sometime and you will see what I'm talking about.
No, Sean, believe me, I know, and I hear from the plow drivers the same.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I hear it all the time from my guys, too, how bad the roads are, and I wish I could say there's a quick and easy fix.
Right.
We're trying to get all the water lines replaced, and
But I was thinking about telling you, stop, time out. Let's not dig up any more roads. You can't avoid them. Like they just said, they're all main roads, Glades Road, I realize that, but when was the last time any one of us drove down a Glades Road? And, I know that's as important as any other road, but it's not Country Way, it's not First Parish. Summer Street is Hadley Road to the people in the West End, so, that's a main road, but it's, like I said, it's getting bad.
I'm looking for the next water job, the second phase of the water job, to open up the 28th and start in April. I can push that back and maybe push that off into later in the summer. It's for the next phase. That's going to cross, it'll cross 123. We're going to be replacing a line from the Rotary. We're going to cross 3A. We're going to go up to the Norwell line. We're going to rip up, it's a tough spot. I mean, I can postpone some of the water work.
Norwell's going to do 123, aren't they? Working with the state to do 123?
They're only going up to the center. They're going from the center to the Hanover line. They're not doing the other section.
Coming this way.
Right. And our water line actually goes into Norwell about 100, to a couple hundred feet. And we're going to have to replace that line too because it's cast iron. It's where the interconnect is. And then our line is looped and goes down Neilgate.
Right.
And that ties in so that we don't have dead ends there. So
I think you should consider that. I think you should see what you could get done if you did that.
Yep.
Because that's the biggest complaint that we're hearing out there, and we all drive it. I mean, Mike, he could probably tell you every road, even the small ones. I mean, Cudworth is terrible, and that gets more traffic than you think.
Right.
So, I know you're working on it, it's just,
No, and we're pushing as hard as we can to do it, and we have the contractors out here to do the cleanup. They're biting at the chomp to continue going on Captain Pierce Road and get that going, which is probably going to be about a week or two away, depending on how the weather breaks. We'll let them start up, and then they're going to be going over to Scituate Ave, and I think Turner also. I don't have it right in front of me. I wasn't going to plan on getting into that, but that'll be going on also, and then the next contract. So if the board wants us to hold up a little bit on that, we can hold up. We were still going after the fairly aggressive schedule to get it all done as soon as possible.
Trying to see some repair.
why don't you come back to us and tell us what you can get done if you delayed that?
So just to be clear, so there's part of the other contract that's still ongoing right now, right? Like Turner and places like that?
pipes.
Yes.
I see the piping all
Yep.
being laid out.
Yep, that'll all be
That's already
ongoing.
happening.
That's already happening. And we have another one I'll be coming back to you to get award.
Right.
It's got quite a few streets in it. It has Barker, Man Hill, bunch of other streets. And we'll be paving that in the end of the project when it's done edge to edge. We had two prices, and we got some really competitive prices for that, so we made those modifications. And then there's also a bunch of side streets that'll be going on also.
Great. Anything else with the cleanup?
Things have been ongoing. We've been working on Sand Hills Pump Station. We just replaced the generator at Sand Hills, which is great. We're working with Karen Joseph in planning. She's a landscape architect. We want to make some improvements to that station, make it look a little better, do some more plantings, and fix that up a little bit. I mentioned I gave you guys a little handout, Egypt parking lot. Ocean in 7th, I included a picture on the second page that's actually inside the pipe looking out. So that pipe has been clear and clean. The biggest problem we always have is that culvert is actually underwater during the high tides and the surcharge tides, so there's nowhere for that water to drain. The culvert's always been clear and everything else. There's a tide gate there that looks to be structurally working, but that is the culvert is so deep, it's down around elevation 7, nothing really happens with that. Peggotty Beach, we've been doing some cleanup on Peggotty Beach. We cleaned up all the sand that was in the lot. The residents brought all the sand off the private way. We put it back out on the public beach, and that drawing is basically showing what the finished product was. I took that today about 4 o'clock, and that shows how the beach came out. It wasn't a fancy dune, it wasn't a big drop-off. It took us a little time to get all the material out there, and then we graded it all with a dozer just so it's a beach.
Was that us doing it this weekend?
It was.
This weekend, or was it the contractor doing it on the weekend? I know we did some and they did some, and
We did everything. It was all under us. We had a contractor that was working for us with a bulldozer, and he had to leave, so he had to finish up. So he worked Saturday just to finish the grading, is my understanding, talking to Mike Breen.
Okay.
So that's the reason for it. I wasn't aware he was working Saturday also, but he wanted to get it done before the snow, because he didn't want to be plowing snow with the bulldozer or leave everything high up. So that was the understanding of that.
Yeah, it looked like they took sand from the beach and pushed it up, though. Are you saying all that material came from the parking lot?
It did. I went down, I go down there almost every morning, and there was a large mound, like 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
that was much higher than that you could tell was taken from the parking lot.
What we did is, it was a big square like this. What we did is out of that square, we took half the square and pushed it along and then graded it all back into the beach. So if anything, we matched the existing grade of the beach, what was there.
Okay.
Edward Foster, we have the seawall is up in place, the superstructure, probably next week. We're not doing any work there now because of the high tides. We'll be redoing some of the rock that's there and try to get that all finished and cleaned up. That went pretty well. We just want to make sure all the armor stone is correct.
Before you just go on, and when do they start with Oceanside on those two seawalls?
Oceanside Drive, there has been a surveyor out there. Now they've started doing the survey. Probably in the next 2 weeks, they're going to start working and building up their laydown yard, which is right there, which is the Goulston property, and they should be starting sometime after that. We're on the contractor's schedule.
May.
He has that. You know, they're hesitant, just like us. They don't want to pull down a section of wall and have weather turn on them, so, you know, we can't, I spoke to some of the residents, and they're like, how come we're not out there now? And then we had the snow, so they're getting ready to start up. The second contract that we have out there, we're working to get our MEMA permits to put the rocks down. It has not gone out to bid yet. That will go out to bid. We've done some modifications to the design so that we do not have to take the whole wall down. We can use some of the existing superstructure. We cored into a couple different areas of the seawall, and the concrete looks to be in good shape. So we have a plan that we're going to put forward that will save some money in the long run on that wall, that we can reuse a lot of that work.
Would that be started this year, Kevin?
Our plan is to have it started this year. The armor stone that we're going to be installing is right near, the tide has come up so much, it's right near the intertidal zone, so we want to make sure we have all the permits we need so that we don't get stopped on the job. And that's the thing that'll take the most time, is getting the permits, getting all the permits done up.
Have you seen all the sand that's on Minot Beach now, that came this year? It's got a ton of sand. You know, at the north section.
Which is, it's great, yeah. Some of the other schedules, street sweeping, will be starting up again soon. Obviously, we just need to get rid of the cold weather and the snow. Line striping usually starts mid to late April. Beach signs will be going up eventually. Sea gates are usually removed last week in April. Beach entrances are cleared and opened up the last week in April. After Memorial Day, we'll be putting the one-way signs up on Glades Road. We're hoping probably the third week to the fourth week in April, the hot top plants will all be opening up again, and we'll be out in full force doing pothole repair. Let me see. Sand barriers will be going back out. Porta potties are usually the first week in May at Central Park, and for the beaches are the third week of June. And that's some of the work that we have going on.
Great. All right. Any other questions for Kevin on anything?
That's good.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mike, do you want to wait, or we can do one more, whatever you want?
No, I'll go. I think there may have been some confusion with John Kimmett. The Facts Group has a presentation at the high school, drugs and alcohol on the adolescent brain. It's an hour-and-a-half presentation over there, which if you've never seen it, it's amazing. It's definitely worth going to see sometime. This stuff here, I wouldn't feel right explaining what they're doing. I honestly think Anne Marie Galvin and John Kimmett should be the ones explaining it. I had them come over to the police station and explain to the officers what they're going to explain to you. And so they came over on a couple different roll calls, and basically to let the officers know that the work that they're doing in referring families and victims to Facts Group and the peer recovery and the recovery coaches, the impact that it's having, and some of the statistics that they've put together, and but I don't want to steal their thunder. They have a good presentation. I'd definitely prefer that they were the ones to present it to you. So if, what I'll do is I'll get with them, and we'll come up with a day that doesn't conflict. Anne Marie had said right off the bat she couldn't make it, so John Kimmett and I were going to present it. But I think it might have been mixed up with John also, and he probably went to that other thing, so.
Good, so, Lorraine, can you just put it on the agenda for after town meeting?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anything else for the chief? No? All right, moving on to the next item is special town meeting and the annual town meeting, which are on the 14th, next Thursday. So we have to assign all the articles. We have a list of them here. And there's 20 articles. There's 5 of us, but community preservation there's probably 16 there by itself, so maybe we'll have somebody just do all of them. So 20 for the 4 of us, so, 3, 4, 5 each. Typically, the chair does the special town meeting.
I was going to do like 6 through 9, unless anybody else wants them.
All right, so I'll do the 2 special town meeting ones.
Yep.
And then I think I do 4 and 5. John, you want to do CPC ones?
I'll take CPC.
So,
12.
So you're going to do 1 through 5, or just 4 and 5?
well, I can do, depends, I don't care. Someone wants to do 1, 2, and 3, they can do that.
I will, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, you, doesn't matter
Doesn't
to
matter
me
to
either.
me. I'll do it.
All right.
Which ones? Who's going to do one?
Laura, 1, 2, 3?
Or I'll do 1, 2, 3.
Just make sure we'll get some people to ask some questions on 1, 2, 3.
And then,
What?
Marty,
I'll
6
get some people
through
to stand up
9.
to ask you questions.
so I'll do 4 and 5. Marty will do 6 through 10.
Through 10? Okay.
Or,
Oh, that's fine. No, that would make sense, Tony, 10.
okay. And
That would be
then,
right through all, that'd be pretty much all.
John,
the-
why don't you do 11 also?
I'll take 11 and 12.
So you do 11 and 12. And then, Sean,
12,
you want to do 13,
whatever you want.
14. Why don't you do 13 through 16, and then more, you want to do 17 and 18?
Sure.
Did you get that, Lorraine? Or I can do, I'm only doing a couple, so I can do them too.
So who's going to do 17, 18, you or Mara?
I can.
More can do them.
I'll be awake.
Okay, so I'm doing the 2 special. Moore is going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'll do 4 and 5. Marty's doing 6 through 10. John's going to do 11 and 12. Sean is doing 13 through 16, and Moore's doing 17 and 18.
More if you fall asleep in 17, you know what, that'll be more reason why it should pass.
Good point.
Yeah, if we're getting close to 11, try and do that one quickly. 17 and 18. Great, any questions on that? You got all that? Awesome. Moving right along.
Tony, can I ask a question? Did we get any updates, or Lorraine, will we see updates for the language for those 2, 17 and 18? Remember, they were going to adjust some of the language?
Tricia was going to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have that before.
Moderators meeting? Moderators
Moderators
meeting?
meeting.
Well, she
Wednesday.
can make recommendations. It's a petition article.
Right.
She told the petitioner that she would make some recommendations for them,
Okay.
but it would be up to them to change it.
Okay.
And I believe the moderators' meeting is tomorrow at 4. 3. 3. If anyone can go to that. Al, are you going to go?
Do you need someone to go? 'Cause I can go if you can't.
If you want to go. Sure.
So I don't know if she has that language ready. She's going to have it ready for the moderators meeting tomorrow. Tricia.
This is for the town meeting one, right? Why don't you email that? Worst comes to worst, we just go with whatever they're presenting. Or we can also make a change on town floor.
I say make a change on the town floor if we had to.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a huge deal. But the moderator may have some problem with it. We'd tell them that we'd make the change on town floor.
I can give Al my notes from the minutes of the meeting that we discussed it. So you have to.
Right. Good. So I think that the gist of it was, at 11 o'clock, there's a warning that says we're not going any later than 11:30.
Right.
So, either stop at the next article or stop at 11:30. Right. All right, moving right along. New business. We've got some Hawker Peddler annual license renewals. So these are the 3 people that have ice cream trucks, vehicle.
These are some of the Hawker Peddler licenses. They've all been in Scituate before.
Right.
Now, do you tell them where they can go?
I hope not.
Do tell them where they can go.
So does, the ice cream trucks seem to go wherever, right? They go to the beaches and...
Well, they have areas too, it's in their license.
I recall we issued about a bunch of ice cream licenses. Remember that? And then we were very concerned on where they went and what times they were there. And I never heard of a problem.
No, I think
And-
right after that they dropped off. There's only a couple.
Right, so I mean, good luck to them, wherever
To them.
well,
Because you don't have
parents
kids
just...
at the beach anymore.
The only thing that we asked is that they weren't near a business.
Right, no, I couldn't agree more, but, I mean, to say you have to go to Egypt Beach and you can
Right,
only go to
right.
Peggy.
I don't think there's enough that it's a problem now.
Right,
We
I
had
agree,
onslaught
thanks,
at one
yeah,
point.
right, that's what I'm trying to say.
Sitting there dribbles or...
Wherever the Vignanis are, they'll follow you.
All right, you want to make a motion for those?
Will the Board of Selectmen approve the Hawker's Peddlers license for Burt's Ice Cream for the 2016 season?
Second.
Second by Mr. O'Toole. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous, 5-0.
Question on the next one. The hot dog, I know they're out in the parking lot, which is fine with me. I was wondering, did they want to get closer to the lighthouse? They're in the middle of a parking lot, where they're just one of the location for them. Easier than being right in the middle of a parking lot.
That was his choice, wasn't it? At the Lighthouse parking lot?
That's where they were last year.
Traffic season. 2 or 3 years. Is that it?
Yeah, it's very visible as you come around.
I have no issues. I'm just only
You just can't
curious.
put up, one year he put up all kinds of signage and stuff, and,
Tents.
yeah, so,
Yeah. I'll move that the Board of Selectmen approve the Hawker Peddlers license for JP's Hot Dog Express for the 2016 season.
Second.
second by Ms. Curran. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. And the last one, Dell's Lemonade.
I'll do that one. Move that the Board of Selectmen approve the Hawker Peddlers license for Dell's Lemonade for the 2016 season.
Second.
Second by Ms. Curran again. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we have a discussion vote of a one-day beer and wine license for the Science Chef.
Move the Board of Selectmen approve a one-day wine and malt license to the Silent Chef for an event at the Scituate Maritime Center on May 21st, 2016, from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Second.
Marty.
Second by Mr. Harris. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. Moving right along, correspondence. I think there's
I didn't
one.
see any.
Is there one?
There's one.
Oh, is there the one thing about the
The recycling
recycling
thing?
cooperative?
Yeah.
So this is a note from Claire Galowski about the South Shore Recycling Cooperative. It is this Thursday, April 7th, from noon to 2:30 at the Jones River Trading Company at 482 Elm Street in Kingston. So if anybody, is that open just to town employees, or is that open to anybody? I guess it's open to anyone. Meet, eat, learn, and laugh at the Zero Waste occasion. There are only 15 spaces left, so if you are interested in joining, please contact them.
Great. Before we accept the minutes, any other business? Marty, do you have anything?
Well, just with the events that have happened in the last week, probably, we were talking about it earlier, with people being killed by these trees falling, I'd like to just advise people, if they see that they have an issue on a tree, or they think that it might be questionable, please call a tree person. They'll come out, they'll look at it for you, they're not going to charge you to look at it, just to give you an idea of whether it's a danger to yourself or possibly to somebody else. People killed in the last week. But, yeah, that's really all I have.
The only thing on, jumping on that, if you think there's a tree that's in town property, to call the DPW. That's
Yeah.
it, all right?
Right.
I know there's some issues on electronic media, but I'm like, call DPW, let the town go out and take a look at it.
But even the tree guy would tell you that, say, well, this is a town tree, but at least they're giving you their expert opinion, and they're not going to charge you to do that.
Sean?
Can I just piggyback on that? Al, I'm glad you're here. So we have a tree warden, so the electric companies come in and they clear their lines. Do we look to see if now they've made the, lopsided and make it more prone to coming down?
Honestly, I can't say that we go out and overtly do that. I mean, when the power line companies come in, they hire professional tree arborists who are licensed and experienced. So, I mean, they make the trees certainly look ugly in many cases. They have a responsibility that if they're altering the tree's structure and then it, becomes unstable, then that's their liability. But we don't send out someone to chase after them.
No, but if the tree warden is driving around and seeing, now they've cut one side and now it's just, and I just wonder if, to Marty's point, if it makes it more, vulnerable to.
Usually what happens is a resident or a motorist will call in and ask the question about it, and then the tree warden, Mike Breen, or George Story will go out and take a look at it.
Right.
George has been tree warden for years, and when he's available, we use him. Otherwise, Mike will go out and take a look, and if necessary, we'll call in some professionals to look at it as well. We have a series of contracts with professional arborists who can come out and take trees down for us more safely than we can do it ourselves. But to Mr. O'Toole's point, and to your point, if anyone suspects a tree or has a concern, the best thing to do would be to call the Department of Public Works at 545-8731 and report it, and then someone from the department will go out and take a look at it.
But that's only for trees in the right of way, because we receive a lot of calls about this. The DPW is not going to go look at trees on people's private property. I just want to be really clear, because we've gotten so many calls about this.
There are a lot of trees that, that's questionable, is it private or public, and that's when the DPW will go out with a tape and measure where does the line fall. If the tree is within the right-of-way, then the town takes some responsibility for it. If it's not, then it would be the homeowner's responsibility.
Right.
Who's gone through and marked them with orange? Is that us, or is that the utility company?
Is that Tilden you're referring to?
Who's what?
Meaning the town,
Us.
DPW, if we mark a tree with an orange dot.
Actually, it's, in many cases, it's the utility company that has gone and marked.
And as plumb to someone like that.
Really? Because I know, like, DPW came up and cut my tree down, they put a big orange mark on it.
Yeah, they'll put a bullseye on it.
It was not.
Right.
There's an X's and circles mean different things, right?
I think everybody uses the same technique, because I have seen the tree companies doing the same thing. Like,
Yeah, they do the same
Scarlet
thing.
letter.
So you can't really
It's
tell
coming
who's
Right.
coming back to take it down? Is that the point?
Yeah, you never really,
No.
yeah, we know if we're planning to, but we don't know if the utility company was planning to. There's no way to say, oh, that's the utility doing that, or the town,
Okay.
Ribbons don't work, these people go.
without calling DPW.
Tony, I just have one more thing.
Yeah.
So last week, the Scituate Mariner hosted the Citizen of the Year for Mr., and it was Mr. Robert Corbin, and it was an excellent time, great turnout, and saw a lot of old folks that I knew from Quincy and places like that. So anyway, it was a very nice time. So
Well deserved.
that is all I have.
Congratulations, yeah.
How many years has he been teaching, or did he teach? 30, 40?
I think it was more than that, because he was still substituting.
He's still
wasn't he?
substituting.
Right, that's why I said, yeah, right.
50-something,
Well over 50.
58 maybe.
Wow.
I think it was
My
50.
daughter's favorite teacher.
Yeah, yeah,
Great.
that's all I
Thanks for going to
have.
that.
Certainly.
John?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I went, and Marty did too, to an event for the sister city, Sissy-en-Brie, on Sunday, and just one thing to communicate to the board as well as to the public, the committee's also looking at potentially creating another sister city with Ireland, and they're looking in two different regions, Galway and Cork. So at some point, I think those people will be coming back to talk to us as a board, to consider it as an option to maybe expand and augment the sister city program, which is not just a high school, exchange program. It's a cultural exchange program between both cities, or in this case, towns, of which it's for everybody involved, all ages. So interesting, and it should be, if they do, I think it'll be fascinating, so people should be aware, be nice. Literature, people who are interested in books and writing books, Ireland's a great place there, Jack. So, anyway, that's it.
I just wanted to say that I was with Anne Marie, I just got out of there. They did a great presentation and still doing it. And,
Great. Maura, any?
I don't, I'm good. Thank you.
No,
Sean?
no, not tonight.
Come on, Sean.
Nope, not tonight. I'm good. No, you touched on, public buildings that I've been attending, and there's a lot going on, but you
Right.
touched on it. That's fine.
Just a couple things to mention. We had a financial advisory meeting prior to this meeting. Nancy was there, Al was there, the school people were there, Pam was there, and we finalized our numbers for the year, and everything's going to be coming in on budget balance for both the school and the town side, so that was good. A little bit of fluctuation in both directions, but we feel comfortable with it. The annual town meeting is Thursday, so the 14th. So mark it on your calendar. We're going to try and get it all in one night. There's only 18 articles, and a lot of, 18 is a little deceiving because there's like 15 CPC ones, but that is there, so come early and get your seat. It starts at 7, 6:30?
The day before, 7th, the day
7th.
before tax day, right?
Right.
Maybe we can get it done quickly?
Great. The other thing, as Al mentioned, and I do want to give kudos to Al and his wife Donna, who do a ton of work for Ship Shape Day. They're out there handing out all the material, organizing it all, get the quadrants. I mean, it's a really well-run, situation where they've got maps and all sorts of information to give people that go out. And how much trash do we generate from that? I mean, just tons and tons of...
Tons and tons. We do a bag count, and each year I forget what it is, but it's 1,600 bags of trash and recycle are collected.
Right. And you can go there on Saturday morning, pick up your materials, and pick up any time over the weekend. So I highly recommend all of you watching and hearing this to go help pick up the town, because it gets a little worn down over the winter, and there's a lot of stuff out there that needs to be picked up, and let's keep our town beautiful. That's about all I have. Baseball season opened today. High school baseball started today. Didn't start, because they don't play in the snow, but soon all the spring sports will be underway, so, Little League and all that stuff's kicking into gear now, so, great. Last thing we have here is acceptance of the minutes.
Move the Board of Selectmen approve the meeting minutes of March 22nd, 2016. That's it.
Second by
Second.
Mr. O'Toole. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous.
I was not here.
So that's 4-0. Sean abstained from that. And then lastly, we're going to, motion to adjourn and sign documents.
So moved?
Second by?
Second.
Mr. Harris, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous.
Good night, folks. Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone, thank you.